Ooh, ooh, ooh. What's up, everybody? Let me get myself situated. All right. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of moments to get in, to tune in. Shout out to all the actors, LoveCraft Country. Hearing this a dope show. We're going to have fun today, guys. 1 second. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the ancestors today. I gotta close my door. I don't want everybody in my conversation right now. This just for y'all. How everybody doing? Leave your comments. What's up, Mike? Hey, we're talking about the ancestors today, Mike. I don't know if you've been watching Lovecraft Country, but you know, putting a lot of that, putting a lot of that mythology talk in there. So, I'm not gonna get into the show, but I am gonna give a little talk about what that is uh, and maybe about why our community is so feared and so afraid of those types of conversations. Like what happened? What's up, David? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Gonna get started in like 2 more minutes. Shout out to my nephew and my niece. They just had their birthdays in August. Go follow my boy Johnny Boy John on YouTube. Let's see here. Oh, you've been watching it, Mike. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good, man. Uh Sure, yeah, I might mess around and we're gonna post some libations to the ancestors. We should everybody should pour something for Chadwick Boseman, man. Shout out to him. RIP. Chadwick is is one of our ancestors now. Um and he is connected to us. So you can send out some peace and love, to your brother on his transition. You'll get something in return. That sounded creepy, huh? But it's not. Okay, so I need 1 second. Let me close my door. All right. On my Facebook. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I say to the ancestors. So let's talk about it, man. That's one of the things that I'm seeing in the with us is having a disconnect to our past, you know? And with having a disconnect to your past, it doesn't allow you to be fully present because you can't really know where you are unless you know where you've been. And unless you know where you are, you're not going to fully be able to know where you're going or how to get to where you're going. So that's why knowing and having an understanding about ancestors is critical, and not just in our community. You see it in humanity. You see it in these movies and these TV shows. Darn near every Disney movie has some scene where they're talking to the ancestors. They're not doing that to like cast some demonic spell on you. It's just a reality that we're in, that we are our past and we are our future. You look at your kids, for those of you who have any, tell me, do you not see yourself and your mama and your daddy in them? You know what I mean? Um, and so you have to have a connection with all of that. And so, ironically, unfortunately, with the early uh, passing of Chadwick, it gives us space to talk about Black Panther. And if you recall in the movie Black Panther, uh, T'Challa, in order to gain wisdom and knowledge about how to complete his mission, um, he had to go into the ancestor realm. So all my Wakanda Forever people out there, all the Christians who, love that movie, understand that you can't love one part and then hate the other. It's all our story. So if you remember in the film, they gave him that purple, the heart shaped plant or the purple plant or whatever it was called. I can't remember the name. Um, and they buried him. And then as they buried him, it sent him into the spirit realm. And the idea, what in history, what a lot of our ancestors were writing about and saying is that that there's no such thing as death, and death is not the end. And I think that's the thing that might have had that might have us so afraid is because we think that that's the end, but it's actually the beginning to a new life. And nature will show you that by process of planting. So if we let's consider ourselves in this moment seeds, right? And so you're a seed, your physical seed, birthed from this tree, right? But one day you want to grow up to become a tree, just like your beautiful parents, right? And so in order to go through that process, you have to get buried into the ground. And in mythology and in religion, they call this Hades or the underworld. The underworld of the dead is not where things that don't move or not living live. The dead in that aspect was just the unseen or the unknown or the things that are in the darkness. So, and you'll notice that even when you see the seed get planted into the ground, there's life in that darkness, in that soil that attaches itself to that seed and helps it become what it was meant to become. But in order for it to do that, that seed had to go through that quote unquote death process. But that's the same with us. So T'Challa had to go through his ego death experience, which is you just waking up and becoming more conscious of who you are or dying. Like in the Bible says, removing that old skin, just like a snake sheds his skin, which is probably why they symbolize the snake a lot. What's up, cousin? How you doing? Uh, it's because you always have to go through this state of life and death, but death is not the end. And so talking to your ancestors is just talking to a deeper part or more ancient part of yourself. Because if you look at your physical self and not just your physical self, but your DNA is a combination of all of the people that came before you. You are the living embodiment of the past. And so talking to your ancestors isn't talking to ghosts, it's speaking to your own subconscious mind, your own DNA, which is attached to those names and the memory of those people who help bring together what you call yourself. And when you speak to those things inside of you, they will speak back to you. Um, you'll be surprised how much of your personality or why you like the color you like or why you like the type of people you like. It will You will come to find out the deeper and deeper you go within yourself that you didn't just like this just because, but this is a memory. This is an idea. This is an entity, an aspect of yourself from the past that has been passed down through one of your ancestors. You know what I mean? Like the color red, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go back and look at your DNA chart. And if you can find out where your ancestors come from, you're gonna see somebody who loved the color red, who looked just like you, who did the same things you do. Not every single thing, but some things. So everybody is a combination of each other. And that's the same thing with us here on this planet. Like we're all bits and pieces of one big thing. And so we unfortunately have been spooked out of it because, through this unfortunate programming we've gone through in this country, anything that will help you become more conscious or become the Chachala, you know, they're gonna tell you that it's bad. That's why Killmonger came and destroyed all the plants. Because if you don't have no attachment to get back to your ancestors to get these answers, you're not gonna know what to do. And so the disconnect in the black community, they disconnected the family, right? But not only disconnecting the family, we got stripped of our history and of our language. What did that do to us? That had a psychological effect on our minds, on our psyche, on who we ended up becoming in this society. We started to adopt whatever was given to us because we don't know who our mama is. You know what I mean? It's like putting a child in the jungle without his parents, and then they get raised by wolves, and you're looking at the child crazy, like, why are you eating this food? It's because it's all I know, you know. Uh, but one day, in order for that child to really realize who he really is, he has to find his home, and he has to find himself. And himself is through his seed, which he may not have produced yet, or it is in his past with his ancestors, you know? And when those people transition, they leave their physical body. But for all of you guys who are Christian or Muslim or Jews or whatever you are, whatever you believe, doesn't the Bible and all the other books say that they go to be absent from the body is to be present from the Lord? Yeah. But where is God? There's a scripture in the Bible that say that the kingdom is God of God is within, and God lives in your heart. And so when your ancestors transition, they go to live back inside of you. And so you're not talking to the physical person that's no longer here. You're talking to that energy or that memory or that principle that has been imprinted on your DNA to keep it alive, to wake it up so that it can continue to nurture you and carry you. Um, our people, they never fully leave, because energy can't be created or destroyed. It's always going to be there. It's just going to be in a different form. Um, so we have to learn how to interact with energy. It's so interesting. Yeah, Mike. You got to go within, man. You got to go within. And so, for example, uh, in the past, our ancestors would make altars. Now, altar isn't something where you build to go burn dead babies and worship. So let's look at the word worship. The origin of that word, which is a German word, we're not from Germany, we're from Africa and other parts of the world, and probably some from Germany too. But that's not the beginning of our history or our understanding about reality. So we cannot take Germans who created the word God and the word worship in the 1500s and think that that representation of words and ideas are fully accurate when we've been on this planet for tens of thousands of years. So where they get that word from, the idea of that was the representation of that which is invoked. Invocation is calling upon something that is within. So when you worship something, when you worship God, let's just use God. You do not worship God out here. There's nothing to do out here. Worship means to invoke. So the creator or this divine spark or this light or this God that you're calling to is in here, and you invoke it by speaking to it. And when you speak to it, you wake it up. You know what I mean? You call it by its name. And the reason why you call it by its name, because names only mean what names mean to you. So whatever sound, whatever frequency you put towards your intentions or your thought, that shall manifest. We're about to preach on y'all Goodbody today. So we got to talk to, and that's the thing, we don't even know how to talk to ourselves. We don't know how to talk to our ancestors. We don't know how to talk to ourselves. And then that ends up translating outwardly, and we don't know how to talk to our people in front of us. We don't know how to talk to our family members. We don't know how to talk to our loved ones, our spouses, our kids, because we're not in harmony with self. And in harmony with self doesn't mean I'm aligned as this beautiful, just great person who has only good things going on. No, you are a ball of chaotic energy that has the potential to be good and bad both at the same time. So you gotta be in harmony and union with all of those different forms of self living inside of you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. You know how they say like, uh, oh, I got this disease because it runs in my family. It does not run in your family. What it is that one of your ancestors experienced this disease. They did not heal from it. They did not remove that thing from their DNA. And when they passed on or when they created you, that thing that is imprinted on them, they pass down that idea to you. And so now it's just potential, but it's living in you. So when your environment uh resembles that of what your ancestor experienced, your DNA hears that, it feels that, and it's triggered by it. And then you have the potential to wake up that thing that wasn't released from whoever their ancestor was. And now you're perpetuating the same thing. So a lot of your traumas, a lot of your insecurities, a lot of your fears, they didn't just come from you. They came from people who experienced them years ago and they never let them go. So, man, we got to heal from shit our ancestors went through because slavery was a real thing and it was very traumatic. And if it's true that memory is recorded in the DNA and our ancestors were never given an outlet after this intense period of trauma to learn how to release these things, it's still inside of us. So we still got all that residue from slavery, from Jim Crow, from when the Arabs invaded Africa, when they got enslaved by Muslims, when they got enslaved by Germans, when they got enslaved by each other. All of that history, the potential of it is still locked in somewhere within us. Mike, that's right. Call it post-traumatic slave syndrome. We're still dealing with PTSD that we didn't even curate. You know what I mean? And so when you allow yourself to check in, and it's not to call on some ghost, that's just ideas to put you in fear. The TV is ruining our minds on how to channel into our own self. But it's not meant for that because it's meant to show you it, but we've been taught to look at it and be afraid of it. And that's the thing we're learning now, to not be afraid of who we really are, but to accept it. And that's the thing that I see that a lot of us are doing. We don't know how to accept who we are. And we think because we think something is wrong with it. But you can go to Africa and look at the history. I don't remember seeing a word so far, and I'm still learning. I don't remember seeing a word that says wrong. They didn't have it. There's no such thing. That's an idea that's been created to twist you away from thinking that you don't have the power to be whatever you want to be, uh, and being okay with that. So, man, we got some unpacking to do, but it's gonna be beautiful. Keep watching the show because that show is meant to help you unlock potentials in your mind so that you can evolve, so that you can allow your ancestor to transition and to heal from their trauma so that you can heal from your trauma, so that you can help your neighbor heal from their trauma, so that we all can love each other the way we were meant to love each other. The reason why we can't love each other right now is because too many things are in the way. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go hard on y'all today because it's okay. We're just gonna love it out. We're gonna love it out. Um, Shout out to all the ancestors. I say to you, which means peace. Um, yo, your. I heard somebody say your earliest ancestor is God, and if you talk to God every day, and God chilling in the kingdom, and they say your ancestors lead they with Him, you mean tell me like he can't slide and be like, hey, putting that on the phone? Come on. And at the end of the day, you're gonna realize that voice Where is it coming from? I know you can't understand it, but it's okay. We're gonna understand it eventually because you're just living it. You know what I mean? It's that heartbeat. It's that heart chakra that has to open up to love, to love. You have to forgive the pain of the past, and you have to forgive the people that caused the pain of the past, even your ancestors, even the ones who are still living. Because if we don't, whether we like it or not, those ideas will attach to ourselves, and eventually they will manifest physically as disease. And with there being a virus out right now and all this other chaos going on in the world, you don't need to make your body any more vulnerable to disease because disease can't hurt you if you have ease within yourself. So I'm gonna leave that right there because I feel like that was a bar. Yo, I love y'all. We're gonna continue this talk. Just getting started on it. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Me and Nat gonna watch it. We're gonna check it out. We only seen episode 1 so far. But we're gonna continue to check it out. HP Lovecraft, white guy, horror. Right, he's kind of known as the father of horror. But what you will learn is that old buddy didn't know nothing than what he learned from us. So see what you see, learn what you can, and unlearn to relearn. You said what a offer plate? Yo, Cash App, $ Goodbody 7. There you go. Peace to you all. Uh, thank you, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.